Hi, and welcome to the Badass Breastfeeding mini podcast. I'm Abby, the Badass Breastfeeder, and today I want to talk to you about when kids ask about breastfeeding. Now, this worries a lot of people. We live in a culture where our breasts are highly sexualized. I would even say fetishized. And when we are breastfeeding with our breasts, which is what you have to do because that's what breasts are for, it makes a lot of people uncomfortable, as you know. It's the reason why advocates like myself exist, because we have this misunderstanding that breasts are primarily sexual when they are not. They are biologically to feed our children. They do lots of other really fun things, but so does my mouth and so do my hands. And we don't sexualize those parts of our body, but we do sexualize our breasts. And so then when we're breastfeeding in public, we have a lot of people who become uncomfortable because they'll say things like, oh, what if my child sees you? What if my child sees your breast? I don't want my child to be sexualized when they are a small child. Well, so first of all, breastfeeding is not sexual. Just because our breasts are sexual at times, if we choose them to be, doesn't make breastfeeding sexual. Again, with the example of my mouth and my hands, can be sexual when I want them to be. They are not sexual when I am shaking someone's hand or kissing my baby. It's kind of complex and it's kind of full of layers, but you know, these things, when you think about them logically, they kind of fall apart. So when kids ask about breastfeeding, my answer to you is answer them. If a child is asking you what you are doing, simply tell them. It's very easy. There's even a Sesame Street episode where a woman is breastfeeding her baby and Big Bird is asking her what she's doing. And she says, I'm breastfeeding my baby. Some babies drink from the breast. Some babies drink from the bottle. It's very easy. And you can let them watch. It's okay. Children are not uncomfortable. Children are curious. We as adults are uncomfortable with things, and we pass that on to our children. Our children are not inherently uncomfortable with breastfeeding because they do not know that breasts are overly sexualized in our culture. They don't know this. All they know is that they see a baby breastfeeding. Maybe they've seen it before. If they've seen it before, they might just ignore you because they've just seen it. If they've never seen it before, they might come up and ask you a question, and it's okay. You're not sexualizing that child. You are not doing anything inappropriate. And if their parent has an issue with that, well, you know, then you are still not doing anything wrong. But when kids ask about breastfeeding, I like to say, when kids ask me about breastfeeding, I answer them. What are you doing? I'm feeding my baby. When you have a baby, your breasts fill up with milk. And then the baby drinks from them. How did you drink when you were a baby? And then, you know, you can have a conversation about it. And the more that we expose people, especially children, to breastfeeding, the less fetishized breasts will become in our culture. We will grow up understanding that our bodies are sexual and all parts of our bodies can be sexual if we choose them to be. But they also all have other uses. And children are, you know, the more that children are confronted with breastfeeding and they see breastfeeding, the more that they will understand what the primary function of breasts are. And as they get older, they will understand that they also have a sexual purpose as well, but they will understand what the primary purpose of them is. And this will lead to less shock when they see an adult breastfeeding their baby. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you are breastfeeding comfortably in public, and if you need any help, please head over to badassbreastfeedingpodcast.com for other episodes that can help with all kinds of problems, including nursing in public, that you are having. Thank you very much for listening.